You look very excited to do the rest. Well, we are now going to animate car racing. For any sprite to come in action or to move any sprite, we need the sprite begins block. In this project, the sprites are vehicles. So to move the vehicles, we need the specific block. This block enables the sprite to begin action. Hence, click on the behaviors category, take the sprite begins block to the workspace and drop it below the set size to block. To select the sprite, click on the drop down arrow and choose the blue car for which we have to animate the movements to the west direction. There is an important point to be kept in mind. Even though the vehicles moving to the east reach the right end of the background image, we do not want it to stop it there. Rather, we want the vehicles to keep on racing. Similarly, the vehicles moving to the left should not halt their movement on reaching the left end of the background image. Just imagine the heart revving and roaring sounds from the engines of our vehicles racing to long distances without any stop. This just gives me the wave of excitement. Is there any value in racing games? We might have heard parents or teachers asking this. The value is yes, it has some good values. Car racing games can be a great deal of fun and provide an opportunity to develop thinking and fine motor skills. Racing games require players to react suitably to novel situations, make quick decisions, determine the best path of action to take, and learn to avoid obstacles. Racing games also require working memory skills. Players need to use working memory to remember where they are on track so they know when to speed up and when to use caution. Racing games can be one of the best game genres to learn problem-solving skills. So let's code it in such a way that our racing game works continuously as in a loop. Let's check the extreme right end and left end X values of the background image. We can see on the output window the X value of the right end, it is 400. Likewise, let's check out the X value of the left end, it is 0. This means that the X value of the vehicles while moving towards the west direction decreases from 400 to 0. On the other hand, the X position value while moving to the east direction increases from 0 to 400. We intend to move the vehicles to the east and west directions, and also we want the movements to run continuously. To do so, we already have the required blocks in the behaviors category. Before using the block, let's check the codes in it. Click on the behaviors category and drag the moving west and looping block, and then join it to the sprite begins block in the workspace. To look into the codes, click on the edit option. We got the codes in a window. In the codes, we have the block to move the car to the west direction. Then we have the if condition block, which is to check the X value of the car while moving to the west. Also, the X position of the sprite becomes less than -50 while moving to the west. Are you wondering how? Well, let me explain it to you. The vehicle race in the west direction reaches point 0 and continues its movement. We know that in the x-axis, after 0 to the left, we have negative values like -1, -2, -3 and so on. So, the car after reaching the left and 0 positions moves to the negative values and reaches -50. After that, the vehicle automatically appears at the 450 value as it is set in the code you see inside the if block. The X value of the sprite is set to 450. Well friend, I hope by now you might have understood that the value 450 falls on the right side of the background as it is a positive value. Remember, positive values lies on the right x-axis. Then it again moves to the left end, then moves to the negative value, and so on. This is carried out as in a loop. To make it more clear, let's run the code on this block. For that, click on the close button, which is on the right top, to go back to the workspace. We are now on the workspace. Are you ready to have a glance? Great! Click on the run option, which is below the output window. Woohoo! Look at the car races. passes the left and 0 values and appears at the 450 value. And again race to the left end. Superb, isn't it? Let's reset the position of the car for now. Click on the reset option below the output window. By now, you might have understood that moving west and looping block can help in animating the movements of the vehicles perfectly. Therefore, let's animate the remaining 3 vehicles in the same manner. To start with, click on the behaviors category and drag the Sprite Begins block and place it below the Move West and Looping block in the workspace. Click on the drop-down arrow in the Sprite Begins block and choose the second vehicle, that is the bike. After this, again click on the Behaviors category and take the Moving West and Looping block and join it to the Sprite Begins block in the workspace. Similarly, let's code for the third vehicle also. But there's a change in the third car. Do you remember what it is? We have to move this car in the east direction. Just keep this in mind. Click on the Behaviors category and drag the Sprite Begins block and place it below the Moving West and Looping block in the workspace. Click on the drop-down arrow in the Sprite Begins block and choose the car which is our third vehicle. Next, click on the Behaviors category and take the Moving East and Looping block and join it to the Sprite Begins block in the workspace. Lastly, click on the Behaviors category and drag the Sprite Begins block and place it below the Moving East and Looping block in the workspace. Click on the drop-down arrow in the Sprite Begins block and choose the last vehicle, car. Once again, click on the Behaviors category and take the Moving East and Looping block and join it in the Sprite Begins block in the workspace. Well friend, we are not only moving the vehicles, but also looping them so that the movement will be continuous. Aha! So we completed the animating part of the vehicles. We are so thrilled to see them racing. Let's have a look then. Click on the Run option. Oh, here they go. All the vehicles are moving wonderfully. Now let's reset the position of the vehicles. Click on the Reset option for that. Oh, I noticed a small issue here. Look at the tires of the racing bike, which looks exactly the color of the road. Do you feel the same? Well, it's just a trivial matter, dear. We can resolve it. Click on the Costumes option, which is on the top of the output window. We can see all the 4 vehicles on the left side. Luckily, we can see the bike in the window now. If not, simply select the bike or any vehicle you want to edit from the left side. So let's quickly edit it. By the way friend, you can see many options on the left side. The color is already selected to black. Thus, click on the Paint Bucket tool first. Then gently bring the mouse pointer to the tire and click on it. Wow, the color has changed. Likewise, bring the mouse pointer to the front tire and click on it. Done. The color of both the tires has changed. Now it matches the color of the tires of the rest of the vehicles. Now let's go back to our workspace. For that, click on the Code option on the top left. We can see that the color of the tire is not changed, isn't it? No worries, dear. We can see its color changed in the output window when the code is run. Do you want to check it? Cool. Click on the Run option. Hooray! Look at them. The color of the bike tire has changed. We have the vehicles racing to the west and east direction successfully. Click on the Reset option to reset its positions. I could see how much effort we have put into creating such a thrilling racing game. Great work, dear! This platform Code.org has helped us in animating a racing game. We can use any background image either from plenty of images we have on the platform or by simply uploading the one we like from the internet. Also, you remember while scrolling down to select the racing vehicles, we spotted many other awesome vehicles. Well, though we just selected 4 of them, you can select any number of vehicles as per your wish. We can't miss mentioning the moving east and looping block and moving west and looping block. This heroic block helped us to move the vehicles to the east and west directions respectively. Apart from all these, we also learnt about the positive and negative x coordinates of a graph. Then we saw many fun facts on racing and we saw how important is road safety. Altogether, it was a treat. Wow, these car racing games are so fascinating. Hats off to the creators of all these amazing car games. Don't forget to praise yourselves as you're also the creators of amazing car games and animations. Hey, let's go tell these racers that we can create amazing animations from their racing memories. I think that would be a fantastic idea. So let's go and surprise them. But it's time for me to go. Until we meet again, bye!